everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm so glad you're joining me. Well, I'm posting this a little bit late, but today I get to share with you the SSS May 2026 card kit. It's called Long Stem Florals. I took everything out of the box that your kit will come in, and then just to make things a little bit faster when we go over everything. Let's take a look at the kit, and then we're going to jump in and create some cards. The cards we're making today are very simple. I would call them a 5-step card, although I'm not going to go step by step, but they would be considered a 5-step, meaning you have a focal point, a background, a home panel, a greeting, and then we're going to embellish. Okay, so the kit is fabulous. First off, you get some rose gold. This is Tim Holtz metallic craft cardstock in rose gold. Beautiful, lovely, lovely color. You get 3 sheets of regular cardstock from Simon. You have their fabulous, let's see, this is apricot, you have steel, and then you have ivory. That's a beautiful color palette. I think we're just going to use the pink today though. Okay, we get our stamp set that's named after the kit, Long Stem Florals. This is a 4x6 stamp set this month, and it has some beautiful florals. You'll notice on the stamp set that 4 of the flowers are lettered, A, B, C, and D. They did that because they've also included a stencil. And the stencil you can actually not necessarily color in the flowers, but you can create a background for them. Let me show you. This is what it looks like. Okay, so on the stencil there's etched detail that says A, B, C, and D on each of the blocks. And then you can add some detail behind it. So you get a stamp set and a stencil in the kit this month. We also get a full set of nesting dies, and these are called squoval. I guess it's square and oval put together. Squoval tags. You get 8 of them, and then get 4 reinforcements. 2 of each. You get 2 circles and then 1 flat bottomed. These are great when you want to put one on the front and one on the back, and it's just one shot through the die cut machine. So you get a whole set of the Scoville tags. Love that. And the cute name too. Okay, we get some Ideology products. We get a package of deco frames, and I opened mine up. I want to see how thick they were. And I have to tell you, these are thinner than foam tape. If you were to put 2 of these together, I think it's the thickness of a foam square. Okay, so one of them, and they're very lightweight. Okay, of course they are metal, so you will add weight to your card projects, but not as heavy as you think they are, and they're not as thick as you think they are. So foam tape is actually thicker. I would say this is definitely probably 1 millimeter thick, because my foam tape is 2. Okay, and you get 5 of these, and they're all beautiful, go great on our cards. And then we also get some more embellishments. These are called heirloom roses, and it looks like we get 3 different sizes of roses in here. Ivory is always nice because you can color them in if you wanted to. You can use your Copic markers, or you probably can even use the distress glaze that's in there and color them in. Okay, you get a whole package of these. These are definitely thicker than the frames. I would say the roses are like 3 times as thicker than the frames. But they are awful pretty. Get a whole package of those. Okay, and speaking of distress glaze, you get, and this, I get abandoned coral, but the colors vary. Distress glaze adds a nice tint to anything you put it on. So if we were to color over this pattern paper, it would turn it pink with a glaze, and you can actually use your collage medium matte to add this. Okay, you could just squirt this out, rub it on your pattern paper, add your glaze, and then it will tint it. I played a little bit, so this is what it does. I don't know if you can see the sheen. Yeah, you can. So this is really fun to play with. I'm not using this today because I like for you guys to follow along with me. And so if we get different colors, it throws things off. But we get a bottle of Collage Media Matte. And this is great too for gluing your flowers and your frames on your projects too. It's a very strong glue, which is nice. I'm glad they included that. You get a full bottle of this. Okay. You also get a distress crayon, and everybody gets walnut stain. For me, if I'm gonna have it or use a distress crayon, it'll be vintage photo or walnut stain. So everybody gets this. I thought this was fabulous. And this goes great too with your distress glaze. If you add it to your cardstock and just rub it in, look how fun that looks. It does give a nice little vintage feel to anything you put this on. So that's included. Also included is a sheet of rub-ons, and this is a 6x8 sheet. This is from Simple Stories. It's from the same collection as our pattern papers, which I'll show you in just a minute. But this is the Vintage Junk Drawer transfer sheets. Rub-ons. How nice is that? Just gorgeous. Love it. That's included. And then our pattern papers, we get 12. It's from the same collection, and they're just lovely. They're double-sided, and again, these are from Simple Stories. Simple Stories Vintage Junk Drawer. Look how pretty these are. I'm going to go through them real quickly. I wish I had, you know, I'm off topic again, but I wish I could go to a secondhand store and find one of these little file boxes. I would love this in my craft room. I just can't find one. One day I will. Look how this reminds me of, over on Simon Says Stamps YouTube channel, Simon had Tim Holtz on there, and he had a little clipboard that he created, and he created a pencil that you can make out of a wooden skewer. Oh my gosh, it was the cutest little thing. Check it out if you guys haven't seen that video over at Simon. But he made a pencil to go with his little miniature clipboards, and when I see a mini clipboard, that's what that reminds me of. That's actually really beautiful. And then we have some cutouts here, beautiful pattern papers. We get tags. This one's one of my favorite. You get some, this one, look how beautiful this one is. More cut aparts. You get some distressed damask, really pretty print. And then of course you get the reverse side. Get another one of those little clipboards. Some clocks, typewriter keys, some old paper. And these are library cards. Get ledger paper. Beautiful, beautiful. Those are included. Right up my alley. Okay, I'm going to put everything to the side, and then we're going to create some cards really quick in a 5-step layout. We're going to start by stamping some flowers. Okay, let's bring in the stamping positioner, and I'm going to stamp on white cardstock. Okay, we can fit all 5 on an A2 panel. Let's go ahead and ink these up with Memento ink. Okay, I'm going to do one more panel the same exact way. I'm going to do all of our flowers at one time for all 3 of our cards, okay? And I'm going to use the same inks here. I'm also going to be using our Distress Crayon, okay? So we have 3 inks. I have Simon Says Stamp Straw, Shell, and Carnation. All of these are Pawsitively saturated inks. And I'm going to use the same colors for all of the flowers. My detail blending brushes here. And we're going to start off with yellow. Yellow's an easy color to blend in. We'll just pick up some ink, and then you can use the stencil if you want to do this. Okay, but the stencil is a little bit abstract and it goes outside the lines, and I want to go more inside the lines of the flowers. Okay, so all I'm going to do is add a little bit of color here to each one of the flowers, starting off with the yellow. There we go, so we have yellow in each one. Okay, and then we're going to go in with Carnation. And add a little color here. There we go. And then I'm going to go in with my Shell, and we're going to add a little bit of our orange. Okay, now is the fun part. We're going to take our Distressed Crayon, and I'm going to add it to the leaves. And I'm going to use my finger, and we're just going to smear it. Okay, we'll do the same thing to all of our leaves and at the very bottom of our flowers too. Just add a little bit of that brown. and it takes it from those bright colors and it makes it a little bit more vintage. You can see I'm kind of smearing it outside the lines. I'm not worried about that at all. Now I wasn't going to do the leaves, but on the bigger ones I think I am going to add a little bit of color. So I'm bringing in my cabbage and I'm just going to add a little extra color to those leaves here. There we go. So we have a little bit of green to the leaves, and you can see it's not perfect. All of the smearing is outside of the lines, and that's okay. We're going to use the coordinating dies and cut everything out, and then our flowers are good to go. Now that all of our blooms are cut out, this is going to be part of our focal point, but I'm also going to bring in this pattern paper. I really love the clipboards in here. So we're going to cut out 3 clipboards with for our 3 card projects today. And this is going to be our focal point also. I think we'll do these 2, and then we're going to do 3 of the more narrow ones. Those are my clipboards. Okay, I am going to add a little bit of distressed crayon to some of the edges. Just add a little dot, and then I'm going to run it along the edges. This helps with the seams too. Okay, now these are going to be part of our home. So these are going to go with our focal point also. Now what we're going to do is take some flowers and we're going to add it to our clipboards. Okay, I think we're going to go 2 at a time. Now so we have a little distressed edging. Okay, what we're going to do next is add some foam tape behind the top of our flowers, and we're going to add our flowers, a little bit of glue on the bottom, to the clipboards. For this clipboard with the butterfly at the very corner, we're going to use these 2 flowers. And then for this clipboard, we're going to use 2 of the same flowers with some greenery. So these are these 2 clipboards, and then for these clipboards, I'm going to take these 3 flowers, kind of cluster them together, flip them over, and then I'm going to put foam tape behind these. We're going to kind of connect them together with the foam tape. Their little bouquet positioned, because I'm not going to add this to these yet, okay? So these are our 3 focal points. For my home panels, we're going to be using our Scoville tags. It's a fun name. I'm taking the 3rd from the largest. We're going to cut out a panel using this pattern paper here. We're going to go on the lighter side. Okay. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge of this. Yeah, we are. Okay. And then we're going to go 1 size down from that. Lovely. And then 1 size down from that. Okay, now while we're die cutting our tags out, I'm also going to die cut out some reinforcements. I'm going to be using our peachy colored cardstock that's in our kit. We'll just trim down a small piece, and then I'm going to die cut out 2 sets of reinforcements with that cardstock also. We'll go the big one, we'll add the round one, and then the next 2 sizes, we're going to add the straight edge reinforcement at the top. There we go. I'm going to bring in some white twine, and we're going to thread all of these. Now we're almost done with all 3 home panels. We're going to bring in some more pattern paper. I really love the library cards. We're going to add some library cards to some of these here. We're going to add a little bit more pink. We'll add this one. I really like the butterfly on this one. We're going to cut this one out. And then we're going to take this longer one also. Okay, this longer one, I'm going to add some adhesive, and we're going to kind of crisscross this with this home panel. Okay, that will be one home panel. Now with the one with the butterfly, we're going to add some adhesive behind here. Let's add this directly to the center here. Just kind of brightening up that tag a little bit. And then for this one, that looks like it has some irises on there maybe. So it's overhanging on this tag a little bit here. There we go. So these are going to be our 3 home panels. We're going to put this with our focal point, and now we're going to move along to step number 3 and create our greeting. We're going to stamp all of our greetings at once. We're on a roll with this, so let's bring in some cardstock here. I'm going to stamp, since we have Memento on my desk, I'm just going to use my Memento ink, and we'll stamp. We're stamping 4 greetings, but I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use for each of them. So we're going to have one extra. Okay, I'm going to take the coordinating die set that I have, and I'm going to cut this out. We're going to do something else special with these too. Okay, so bear with me. Now my greetings are die cut out. We're going to actually layer our greetings on 3 of the frames. I thought that would be really pretty and a great way to use our deco frames. So I picked out 3 that we're going to use. I really like this one here. And then we have the rectangle, and which I may switch out for this one. So I'm going to do an extra one. All I do is add a little bit of my collage medium. Okay, and then we just put it behind our frame here, and before it dries, bring in my towel. Before it dries, I just go around it. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm not going to use this one, but I'm going to pop up each of my greetings, and we're going to add them to our frames. Let's go ahead and add some foam tape behind here and just layer these for our greeting. These are some extra special greetings. Look how pretty that is. Okay, I'll do that to all 3 of these, and then our greetings will be all done. Now we're going to move on to step 4, which is our backgrounds. Backgrounds, we're bringing back our pattern paper. The ledger paper, I'm trimming down to 3.5 inches by 4 3/4, and then using our apricot cardstock, I'm going to mat this on here. So this, we need a panel that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Then this way we can mat these 2 together, and we have a little bit of a border. That's going to be one. I'll adhere this to the front of my card base for one of my cards. Some of these cut aparts are really pretty, and I think I'm going to cut the bottom ones here. So I'm going to trim this one down to 2.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. Okay, and then I'm going to trim down our apricot, and we're going to add a border on the left and right here. So this is going to trim down to 2 3/4 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. They're going to go layered together, and then we're going to add this to the front of our card. We're going to go about 1/2 inch on one side here. And then for our final card, I really love this pattern paper. We're just going to trim this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. Lovely. I'm going to trim a thin strip of the brown paper. We're going to go a 1/2 inch strip with this brown paper. Okay, and then I'm also going to take some of our scripty leftover piece. I'm going to trim down a 2 inch strip by 5.5 inches. And then these are going to be layered together on the front of our card like this. 1/2 inch. We're going to layer these on this card like this. Okay? Let me show you all 3 so you kind of have a reference. 3 backgrounds that I am going to glue in place. Now our backgrounds are all done. Now we get to assemble them all at once. So we're doing 3 5-step cards all at one time. But I think it worked out great. Kind of doing a 5-step assembly line today. Okay, first off, let's bring in our home panels. Okay, and again, we have 3. And I'm going to add this one here to this card, kind of overlapping them. Okay, we have this one here. We're going to add wonky to this, and then this one's going to go in the center. Home panels are down. Now let's grab our focal point. For this card, we're going to use this floral bouquet, and we're going to go right up to that butterfly. Straight up and down there. For this card, we're going to be using the next clipboard. I'm going to lower it a little bit, almost centering it in that tag. With these 3 clipboards, we're going to make a little clipboard cluster here to the left a little bit, and then we can add our bouquet right in the center, kind of lowering it a little bit. And then I do need to add a little glue. Now let's go ahead and add our greetings. I'm going to add thank you here. Okay, but I am going to pop these up with foam squares for a little extra dimension. And I just love that these do not have very much dimension to them. So nice. The love you, I'm not going to add any dimension to. I'm just going to tuck this on this clipboard here underneath this flower. We'll just tack that down. Okay, and then our thank you, I'm just going to add foam tape to one side and adhesive to the next, because these are going to overlap on those clipboards over here. Now I'm going to finish off my card with step 5, which means it's time to embellish. Since lots going on, we're going simple and clear. These are Simon Says Stamps Assorted Moonshine sequins. I'm going to add sequins to all 3 of my cards. And those are my card projects today using the May 2026 card kit from Simon Says Stamp called Long Stem Florals. It's a beautiful mixed media kind of a themed card. I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration, and stay tuned because I did create another card project using this kit. We actually used some of the transfer sheet or the rub-ons, and that's over at Simon Says Stamps YouTube channel, so that's coming soon. Keep a lookout for the video, and I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration with the kit. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.